Who's your emergency contact? Who should be notified in case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. I'm settling in. I came back out of the SHU. I've been out a few weeks. I'm trying to, I still had hopes of going home on the Johnson case. But, with each conversation that I had with my attorney, it was always, I keep getting more disappointed in the possibility of me going home.
What's the Johnson case?
The Johnson case, I think I've touched on it a little bit. It was a case about when the Supreme Court ruled that just a possession of a sawed-off shotgun in itself is not deemed a violent crime. So that being said, I should no longer be a career offender. But for some reason, all the way up till today, my attorney was never able to argue that. So, but being locked up, especially in Florence, you have to have something to occupy your time, or you're gonna go crazy. I can't sit there and just watch TV all day. Like my program is, I get up in the morning, I'm up 5 o'clock, 5:30, I'm up. They unlock the door at 6. By the time they unlock that door, I've already brushed my teeth, took my dump, suited and booted, and ready to get my day going. When I come out, I spend, my morning watching the news, whatever they have on. Sometimes they have on Fox, sometimes they have on CNN, CNBC, or whatever, CSB, whatever. They have, I just watch the news in the morning. And, but you have all day to figure out how to get by that day, especially in Florence, because like I said, all the movements aren't being called on time. So if you have any programs that you're expecting to participate in that is outside the block, you might never get to it. So you got to figure out a program that was inside the unit. Me, I like to read, but I can't really read when my door is open because I can't afford to immerse myself in the subject or the story that I'm reading, because there's a lot of stuff going on outside the door, and you never know when one of those things is going to end up in something fucked up. So, and listening to the radio, for me, after the first 20 minutes, it's just like, that shit's in a loop. It's just repeating the same dumbass song, every 20 minutes. They got like 10 songs they put in a loop that goes on for every 20, 30 minutes. So how I occupy my time is gambling. I grew up gambling, since I was a kid, since I remembered, I was old enough to comprehend, what 1 + 1 equals. I've always found myself in some type of game. I remember when I was in the Philippines, when we was in a refugee camp, it seemed like every weekend or once a month, there was like a party where there's music, food, dancing, kids running around. And of course, adults in the corner somewhere gambling. Since I was young, I would always go and be around the gambling spots. And the adults would see me and like, hey, can you grab me a beer? And I go run off and grab them something. They come back, I come back, they tip me. Somebody else would ask me to go grab them some food or grab them this. But I'm running back and forth, gophering stuff for them, and they're tipping me along the way. But as soon as I have enough in my hand that I get in the game, I'm elbowing my way in, getting in the game. I was doing this since I was 4 or 5 years old in the Philippines, in Thailand. So, people always say like, Asians love to gamble, or most Asian gamble. I don't know if that's racist or true, You know, a lot of racist things that people think are racist derives from things that are true. I don't want to say all Asians like to gamble, but a lot of us like to gamble. And I'm no different. So my thing is gambling. I started a poker table. So I spent all day, you know, managing and running the poker table. But the one thing I was trying to get into was the dice. But they don't have dice on the yard. Like people that work in rec can like order board games and stuff that the dice come in, but you know, they get first dips on it. So they take that out of the box before the box even hits the compound, and then they sell the dice on the black market. But when I was in Florence, the people that was over there, they've been around enough times to know the value of a pair of dice. So I couldn't get anybody to sell any of it to me. You know, everybody that I went and hit up on the dice, they just wanted to make like a certain arrangement, let me lease it or rent it for, you know, for a few hours here, a few hours there. But I'm not interested in, because that's almost like a partnership. And if I lose, but I still got to pay for the dice, it's not worth it to me. Everything I do, I just want to keep it clean, clear, you know. Let me buy it, let me move on. If I lose it, if the police run up on me, it's my shit to lose. I ain't gotta worry about trying to pay this dude back because the police took it, or where I lost all my money in dice games, still gotta pay him his cut. I'm not interested in all that. So needless to say, it took me forever to get a pair of dice. But today, I just want to share you know, one of my most memorable dice experience, right? I was in Beaumont. You know, on the West Coast, I learned how to play craps, 7-11. You know, 5-9, 10-4, 6-8, save the bar, all that, right? So that's all we did on the West Coast, being in Lompoc and Victorville, was we shoot craps. Well, when I went to Beaumont, I ran into dudes that shot CeeLo. You know, it's 3 dice. You know, you roll, you get a pair, the odd number is your point. If your point is an ace, you lose. Your point's a 6, you win. Ace, 2, 3, you lose. 4, 5, 6, you get the bank. Trips, you win. So on and so forth. So it's, you know, in Beaumont, that's all we did was gamble. We shooting craps, we shooting CeeLo, whatever. And me, once I learned how to play a game, I find a way to make it work for me. Meaning, I don't consider myself a gambler, like a degenerate gambler that is chasing a high. I gamble to learn the game. And once I learn the game, learn all the ins and outs of the game. And when I'm gambling, I'm trying to win too. But, you know, when you first starting out, learning how to play a certain game, I don't give a fuck who you are. Outside of that first day, beginner's luck, skill's gonna catch up. And if you're a beginner in a certain game, you're gonna spend a lot of money to get good at that. And I've spent my fair share of money to learn how to play these different games and to get good at them. So, but once I understood the game, any type of gambling, I always try to figure how to get an edge. And that's not like cheating or manipulating the cards or shaving the dice or anything like that. The edge I'm talking about is you become the house. You become the bank. You always want to be the house or the bank in whatever game you're playing. And hey, sometimes it don't work out for you, but you know, out of 6 runs, you're gonna win 4 or 5 of them and might lose 1 if you're the bank or the house. So I'm always trying to be the bank. And eventually I became the bank. You know, I played, I hustled, I win, whatever. But like I said, dice is a hot commodity. Back then in Beaumont, 2 pair of dice cost you 10 books, which is $50. You know, and I ended up buying I bought 3 dice to play CeeLo from one of the homie. He could have charged me $100 for those 3 dice, but because he was the homie, he just gave it to me for $50, right? So I get the 3 dice, and I'm running a CeeLo game in the block. And I build up a bank through the course of the week, you know, just playing in the block. And I'm like, fuck, I should take it out to the yard. You know, there's a lot of money on the yard. In the block, it's just the people in the block. But in the yard, you know, you got people coming in and out, whatever. So I played in my block for about a couple weeks, built up a little bankroll, and felt a little confident. It was like, fuck it, let's take this game out to the yard. So me and the homie Bullet, little Louse dude from Kansas City, it was me, him, his co-defendant B, the homie from Flying Dragon Hugh, and this half black, half Filipino named DJ. That was our little crew in Beaumont. So I was like, man, let's go. We're gonna go run this CeeLo game out there. You know, mind you, at this time, I'm young. I come from, you know, I've been running around the streets and all this stuff, but I didn't meet some of the characters that I met in prison out here in the street. There's some slick, smart, hustling motherfuckers in the joint, and you know, I had to learn quick to spot them out, because if you don't, you didn't get got for everything. And I had to learn some of the things the hard way. And I don't take any offense to it, because, you know, when you dip and dab into this world, you have to expect certain things come with it. You know, it's sink or swim. It's on your own to fend for yourself. So, like I said, I built up a bankroll, felt a little confident, got my little blanket so I could put over the table, got my dice, got my little bag of freaking stamps. You know, I brought out like 30 books of stamps out there. Just, you know, because I think that's all I need for the few hours that we're out there. So it's right after lunch. We go in the block, grab all this stuff, and we go out to the yard. And it's another like 30 minutes until they call the yard for everybody to come out to go rec, to go to education and stuff. Like right now, I'm just in the time between right after lunch. So we're out there, we set up our table, and we're kicking back. And comes this black dude. He's a little older. He's from the Bay. His name is Wally. You know, old dude from the Bay. Old hustler. You already know he's a hustler. He talks real fast. His hand moves real quick. He's always jiving. You know, he comes over there, but we fuck with him. You know, when I was in Beaumont, like I said, I've done a lot of my time in California. So when I got to Beaumont, I already knew some of them Crips, some of them Bloods, some of them Bay Area dudes. So it's not uncommon to see me kicking and chopping it up with them. So the old man comes over there. He kicks it. He's like, man, what you guys got going on? You know, he's talking slick. It's like, oh man, we about to run a dice game over here. We about to run a CeeLo game. You know, he's talking shit like, man, you know what you're doing, youngster? This and that. I like, you know, when you're young, you're arrogant. You know, you think you know everything already, right? And he was like, man, fuck that CeeLo, man. Ain't no money in that CeeLo. Let me show you this. He brings out 3 cards. You know, he's got a Queen of Spades, Queen of Club, and a Queen of Hearts. And he starts doing his 3-card Molly thing, right? Boom, 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 boom. He's like, hey, all you gotta do is pick the red one. You know, his hands went back, pick the red one. Pick the red one. So he said, here, pick which one's the red one. You know, I touch it. I saw where the red one went, right? I touched it. He flips it over. It's Queen of Hearts. So yeah, let's try again. Try again. Puts it down. He's like, so where is it? So I point to a card. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. You just want to put some money on it? I saw the card. I saw him put it over there. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be easy money, right? You know, I brought out like 30 books. So I'm like, yeah, I put some money on it. He goes, what's your bet? So I pull out my little sack. I put out 5 books. I put it on the table. He goes, flip it. I flip the card, and it's the Queen of Spades, right? So I lose my 5 books. She goes, hey, don't give up, try again. You were close, right? So he goes again, does the same thing. I said, fuck it. So I bet another 5 books. Of course, I lose again. So I lose a couple more times. I got 10 books left, right? I came out with 30 books. I'm waiting for the freaking move to come out so I can run a dice game. That's why I brought the books, the stamps out for. My blanket, my dice was to run a CeeLo game. But now this old fucker over here got me trapped off in this bullshit. And my dumb ass has too much pride to like just tap out. You know, the homie's like, hey man, stop, man, just quit. You can't beat him. I'm like, man, fuck that. I know where the card is at. Do it again, right? So he does it again, and I bet the 10 books. I point to a card, fucking Queen of Clubs. I lost all my books. I lost 30 books already. I don't even know how much time left before they call the move, right? So, old man, I was like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. I ain't got no more money, man. He's like, what you got right there? I said, what? He looks over, and I got my 3 dice on my table, you know, all, you know, placed all nice and neat, waiting for the game to start, right? So he looks at the dice, he looks at me, he's like, what's up? I said, what? I'll give you one more chance. So what you talking about? I said, I'll give you one more chance. You lost 30 books to me already, right? So he's, you know, he's fucking shuffling his little 3 queen cards, right? He's like, oh, you lost all your books to me already, right? I said, yeah, I lost all my books to you already, okay? Because I'll give you a chance to get it all back. So I'm like, all right, I'm listening. He goes, those dice right there. I said, what? He goes, those dice, all 3 of them together is worth $100. I said, yeah. He goes, well, 30 books is $150. So either way, you're coming up. So I haven't said anything. I'm still like, man, I'll let you put up them dice for all your books back. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. And the homie's like, nah, man, don't do that. Let's just take the fucking dice and let's just go, man. Just accept it. I'm like, nah, man, fucking shuffle that shit. So he does his little 3-card molly, and he lays them down. And we're looking at the cards. And the homie's like, man, don't bet it. Let's just take the dice, let's just go. Right? But, you know, me, it's my dice. I already paid for the motherfucker. I couldn't let it go. So I reached out, tapped the fucking card. He turned it over, and it wasn't the Queen of Hearts. I went and brought my blanket, my stabs, my dice. It was only like 20, 30 minutes until the move before I could open up my dice game. And freaking old man Wally came over there and got me for all my shit, you know. But I'm not mad about it. I'm embarrassed, but I wasn't mad about it. You know, when he left with all my stuff, me and the homie was just sitting there on our blanket on top of the table, just like, look at each other like, dude, man, a sucker born every day. Welcome to the USP.